is Change Radio News. Today is Thursday, the 25th of November 2021, and the news is read by Nora Mashanga. And for the stories making the headlines, MDC Alliance Assembly of Women rolls out 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The People's President's Car fundraiser passes the $84,000 United States dollar mark. Artist speaks on this month's poultry salaries. The MDC Alliance Assembly of Women, WOA, has rolled out an action-packed 16-day activism against gender-based violence that has begun today till the 10th of December. Commemorations will be held in all 10 provinces, with the main one being held in Bulawayo on the 4th of December, where the WOA chairperson, Machirai Rwamugido, will address the nation. The annual campaign is being held under the theme GBV, a barrier to gender equality, whilst the UN theme is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. WOA spokesperson Barbara Tanganyiwa said the launch will be held in Bulawayo and every participant will be dressed in orange. She had this to say.
Yes, the MDC Alliance Assembly of Women will be joining the rest of the world today in commemorating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And the international theme is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. Whilst the MDC Alliance Assembly of Women, we coined our own theme, which says gender-based violence, a barrier to gender equality. So we'll be having commemorations in the 10 provinces in Zimbabwe and the 3 provinces also, the external assemblies, that is South Africa, UK, and America. So all the 13 provinces will be commemorating these the 16 days. And also in between the 16 days, we have other days to commemorate. Like tomorrow, it will be the day to end the elimination of gender-based violence, and then we are going to have AIDS Day on the 1st of December. We are also going to have the Day of the People with Disabilities, and then on the 10th, it will be commemorating the AIDS World AIDS Day. So it will be action-packed and with a lot of activities. And the national chairperson, Honorable Mugido, will be the guest speaker in Bulawayo on the 4th of December, where we are going to launch these 16 days of activism. But what we have to also to note is that, yes, it's 16 days according to the UN calendar, but in the MDC Alliance, we said it has to be 365 days of fighting this gender-based violence.
The MDC Alliance members, supporters, and well-wishers have so far raised more than $84,000 United States dollars of the $120,000 United States dollars that is needed to buy a secure car for the party's president, Nelson Chamisa. The fundraiser under the GoFundMe page called Let's Replace the People's President's Car was created after President Chamisa's vehicles was attacked by ZANU-PF thugs in Masvingo and Manicaland provinces last month during his ongoing citizens and communities interface meetings. We spoke to one of the fundraisers organizers, Henry Jaji, who is also the MDC Alliance chairman for Australia Province. He said,
the initiative that was started by citizens to raise money to buy a car for President Nelson Chamisa now stands at $84,500 United States dollars. The reason why citizens had to come up with this idea and initiative is because President Nelson Chamisa, who is the president of the MDC Alliance, whilst he was doing his Meet the People interface rallies across rural constituencies in Zimbabwe, was attacked in Masvingo province. He was also attacked in Manicaland, and he had one of his cars impounded in Rusape by the police. So as citizens, when we saw that happening, we felt that it was a deliberate ploy by the regime to make the political playing field in Zimbabwe uneven, a deliberate attempt to shrink democratic space and an attempt to subvert the will of the people. So we felt that as citizens, we have the mandate, we have the responsibility to stand in solidarity, particularly with those who are raising their hands to represent us. So we decided that there was need to buy a secure car, an armored car for President Nelson Chamisa in a way and in an attempt to promote democracy in Zimbabwe. When we thought of doing this, at the back of our minds, we had the realization that when we look at President Nelson Chamisa, we don't look and see him as an individual, but as an institution. And we are doing this because of what he represents. What that institution represents is the vision that we have as a people, the dream that we have as Zimbabweans, a dream for a better Zimbabwe, a dream for a better future, a dream for a Zimbabwe where we can all participate in the development of that country.
Majority of teachers who downed tools over poor salaries and working conditions under Mnangagwa's regime this month have received a paltry 28,000 Zimbabwean dollars as their salary, an amount which they viewed as mockery. The Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe ATIZ has described the payday as misery day, saying the salary is not even enough to cater for their basic needs. The teachers are demanding the restoration of their 2018 monthly salaries, which amounted to 520 United States dollars. ATIZ President Obed Masaraure added,
"The paltry salaries being earned by our teachers are a clear reflection of the character and nature of our government, a government which is uncaring, a government which doesn't give any regard to its own people. If our government is not prepared to pay a living wage to its own civil servants, how then do we expect the same government to regulate other players in the labor market? That regulatory role obviously cannot be expected from a government which does not care. We are living at a time where teacher salaries have been slashed by around 1/5. Now a teacher who used to earn around $540 earn around $120. This is unacceptable. This $120 is not enough to cover basics like health care, food, transport, you name it. So teachers cannot afford to take their own children to the schools where they teach, and the teacher cannot afford transport to and from work. This is the basis of the incapacitation story we always narrate. This is the basis why the teachers are saying, no, just declaring incapacitation is not enough. We have to withdraw our labor and declare that we are not going to be working for a government which does not take care of us. Now, this is in the best interest of the broader education system itself. We wouldn't want teachers with low morale to be attending to our children. The future of our children is very important to us, and we urge all citizens to join hands with us as we continue with these 12 days of action, which are going to be obviously evaluated on Friday, which is the last day tomorrow. But after that, we are going to evaluate and see come up with a way forward on how do we act if the government is still to address, one, the restoration of our pre-October 2018 salaries, and secondly, paying for our invigilation services.
South Africa's minister in the presidency, Mlondli Gungubele, has said they are not going to renew Zimbabwean special permits and has urged holders of the current permits to move to other permits or leave the country by end of the next year. Let's hear what he said at the post-cabinet press briefing.
The first Zimbabwean special dispensation started in 2009 and was called the Dispensation for Zimbabweans Permit. It provided for the documentation of qualifying Zimbabweans for a 5-year period. In 2014, the dispensation was extended by 3 years and referred as the Zimbabwean Special Permit. The current Zimbabwean exemption permit was initiated in 2017 and comes to an end on the 31st December 2021. Following its deliberations, Cabinet decided to to no longer issue extension to the Zimbabweans and special dispensations. However, Cabinet decided on a 12-month grace period at the expiry of the current Zimbabwe exemption permit. During this period, holders of this permit should apply for other permits appropriate to their particular status or situation. At the expiry of this 12-month period, those who are not successful will have to depart the Republic or be deported.
Going back to the top headline story, in the wake of 16 days against gender-based violence, which commences today, the MDC Alliance Youth Assembly said Emerson Mnangagwa is the biggest culprit of gender-based violence. In a statement, Youth Assembly National Spokesperson Stephen Chuma said the government's ill treatment of Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri and Netai Marova is a clear testimony that the regime disregards women's rights. He said,
as we commemorate 16 days against gender-based violence, we in the MDC Alliance Youth Assembly, we would like it to be known that it is exactly 19 months, 577 days, or 83 weeks of hell for our female youth leaders at the hands of Emerson Mnangagwa's administration. Since around April last year, our girls have been in and out of courts and remand prison for a crime they did not commit. We all know that Cecilia Chimbiri, Joanna Mamombe, and Netai Marova are victims of abduction, torture, and sexual violation at the hands of state agents. But surprisingly, our girls have been in and around courts as the regime tries to punish them for speaking up against gender-based abuse. It is clear now that Emerson Mnangagwa's government is the biggest culprit when it comes to perpetration of gender-based violence.
MDC Alliance Deputy Spokesperson Gift Ostalos Siziba has said the party is not going to hold primary elections to select candidates for 2023 elections, but will have a community-based candidate selection process. While addressing citizens in Matabeleland, President Nelson Chamisa said the party is developing a template for community consensus candidate selection process. This comes after community leaders in that province had said they do not want candidates imposed on them. Sizba, who is touring with the president, said this to say.
Of course, the democratic movement, as led by African Nelson Chamisa, is on a process of developing the template of liberalizing and democratizing our primary election process by ensuring that we have members of parliament and local government authorities and the president deployed for by communities. So we're expanding our participation to ensure that everyone at community level has a say on who becomes the leader in their own community. So we're moving away from primary elections, which traditionally have been a source of conflict and division within our own political organization, with the intention to liberalize and ensure that there is ownership, a strong social contract and relationship between those who are deployed to parliament and those that have the power to deploy. So we're strengthening the participation and the role of community in terms of deployment of councillors and members of parliament.
Meanwhile, the MDC Alliance has raised concern over the continued marginalization of Matabeleland region by Mnangagwa's regime and promised to end it when they win 2023 elections. The party's deputy spokesperson, Gift Ostalos Siziba, said the people of Matabeleland were not happy about the treatment they are getting from government, as their province is still underdeveloped. The party also promised to end sidelining of languages in the region, particularly Ndebele, Kalanga, and Tonga. Still on the same matter, the Mnangagwa government has failed to provide alternative homes for 967 Binga flood victims in Matabeleland North Province almost 2 years on. Their homesteads were located on the confluence of Simbwambwa Sikande, Namapande, and Manyenyengwa rivers. The victims are now forced to rebuild their demolished houses using trees and molding mud bricks a development that is likely to expose them to heavy rains again this year. MDC Alliance Secretary General Honorable Shelton Wende has said the party is not moved by Zimbabwe Electoral Commission ZEC's decision to postpone mobile voter registration blitz that was supposed to kickstart on 6 December 2021, saying the party is still continuing to mobilize people to register to vote. Honorable Wende also assured that the party is going to defeat Mnangagwa in 2023 polls. He had this to say.
Sadly, as we were preparing for the voter registration blitz to commence on the 6th, we have now received the official confirmation from ZEC that the process has been abandoned or postponed to February. So we think that ZEC is not a credible organization. I think it's a mafia organization that has captured the electoral process in the country. That's why we have had disputed elections. And they want to steal this election, but we are not going to allow them. What we are doing is we are mobilizing people because we are convinced that an overwhelming turnout of Zimbabweans in 2023 is going to defeat ZEC's rigging, ZANU-PF's incompetence, and the illegitimate Mnangagwa. They are going to be defeated by a high voter turnout. So we are working on that. Our people are not moved. We are continuing in the communities, silently mobilizing Zimbabweans in order for them to go out and register. Those who don't have IDs, we are busy facilitating and helping them to ensure that when the voter registration blitz starts, everyone else is registered.
We at Change Radio encourage citizens to become registered voters for the upcoming 2022 by-elections and 2023 general elections. To find out where your nearest voter registration center is, please call the free phone number 080-80219. The number again, 080-80219. ZANU-PF Director for Information Tafadzo Mugwadi has come under heavy criticism for using racially calling the UK Lords pink pigs that should sit down. His comments come after the UK Lords spoke of their concerns about the continued human rights abuses in Zimbabwe by the Mnangagwa regime. Commentators have said his racist comments will further damage any efforts to re-engage with the West. ZANU-PF officials in Silobela reportedly took over the distribution of Pfumvudza agricultural inputs from MDC Alliance Councillor of Zimbabwe Rural District Council, Willard Moyo, saying the inputs belonged to ZANU-PF members only. They said only ZANU-PF had power to allocate the inputs to people, thus hijacking Moyo's program. Chirezi preschool owner Joaquina Javangwe, 53, has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder after 2 juveniles suffocated in a Honda Fit vehicle boot after she had forgotten to retrieve them upon arrival at the school. The deceased girls are aged 3 and 4. It is reported that Javangwe only found out she had left the children in the boot at around 10:30 a.m. when she went to clean the car. 2 boys who were also in the boot with the girls managed to survive after first aid was administered on them. Harare Magistrate Vongai Guriro has ordered the state to amend the charge sheet of July 31st movement convener Jacob Ngarivume, who is being accused of inciting violence so that it clearly states the alleged offense. The order came after Ngarivume's lawyer Moses Nkomo filed an application accepting to the charges. A Harare businessman, Ronnie Chuhota, aged 74, and 2 other members were left hospitalized after they were burnt with an iron by 5 armed robbers who broke into his house in Waterfall suburb on Sunday night. The robbers who tortured the victims with hot iron whilst demanding more money got away with cash, mobile phones, and a Toyota Hiace loaded with property worth 24,000 United States dollars. Zimbabwe Republic Police ZRP spokesperson, Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed the incident. Chivu businessmen in Chikomba were forced to close their shops and attend a World Diabetes Day event that was turned into a ZANU-PF rally by Mr. Constantino Chiwenga. ZANU activist Ben Maduveko and his team went around all business centers demanding people to attend the event, and those who tried to defy the orders were threatened with the withdrawal of their licenses. And now for COVID-19 news and updates. More than 76 Zimbabwean returnees from South Africa on Sunday reportedly escaped from COVID-19 quarantine centers in Beitbridge, risking the spread of the novel virus to unsuspecting members of the public. Police has confirmed the incident and said investigations are underway. In international news, at least 27 migrants drowned whilst attempting to cross the English Channel from France. The migrants were destined for the United Kingdom, where they intended to seek refuge. 5 women, including a pregnant woman and a young girl, are amongst the dead. Last night, the health ministry said Zimbabwe had recorded 40 new cases of COVID-19 and no deaths were recorded in the same period. At Change Radio, we continue to urge citizens to wear masks, to sanitize, to practice social distancing, and to get vaccinated. And finally, in sports, here are the results from the UEFA Champions League football matches played last night. Manchester City beat PSG 2-1. Liverpool beat FC Porto 2-0, and Inter Milan won 2 while Shakhtar had nil. Atletico Madrid 0, AC Milan 1. Besiktas lost to Ajax 1-2. Club Brugge 0, Leipzig 5. Tiraspol 0, Real Madrid 3. And Sporting Lisbon won 3 goals with Dortmund 1. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. MDC Alliance Assembly of Women rules out 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The People's President's Car fundraiser passes the $84,000 mark. And Atta speaks on this month's poultry salaries. The MDC Alliance Assembly of Women, WOA, has rolled out an action-packed 16-day activism against gender-based violence that has begun today till the 10th of December. Commemorations will be held in all 10 provinces, with the main one being held in Bulawayo on the 4th of December, where the WOA chairperson, Machirai Rwamugido, will address the nation. The annual campaign is being held under the theme GBV, a barrier to gender equality, whilst the UN theme is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. WOA spokesperson Barbara Tanganyiwa said the launch will be held in Bulawayo and every participant will be dressed in orange. She had this to say.